They have three main philosophies.
Confucianism having good morals. Kind of. Yeah, that's most of it. Taoism is go with the flow. Yep. Legalism. Obey the law. Yeah, basically. Hey YouTube, welcome again to this channel, Gate to Babylon, the gate to everything. Today we're reacting to the history of the entire world. And it says there, I guess. It's kind of the history of the entire world, but it's a really... I don't have to say it, it's a very good video. And we're gonna comment on this video, and a lot of... excuse me, this word is sometimes it gives me a choke. Elaborate on some points and certain history periods that I know about, that well, I know about a lot, but we're just gonna discuss certain areas, give you a little bit more information, even though it's full of information, but that's history. It's a really good video, and we're gonna react to it and have a nice time. So yeah, of course, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and leave a comment. Tell me what do you think. Of course, I'm gonna ask certain questions. Maybe I think so, and leave the answers in the comments below. What do you think? And let's go. You know all the other YouTube stuff, so let's go.
Hi, you're on a rock, floating in space. Pretty cool, huh? Some of it's water. Fuck it. Actually, most of it's water. I can't even get from here to there without buying a boat. It's sad. I'm sad. I miss you.
How did this happen?
A long time ago, actually never, and also now, nothing is nowhere. When? Never. Makes sense, right? Like I said, it didn't happen.
Course.
Nothing was never anywhere. That's why it's been everywhere. It's been so everywhere, you don't need a where. You don't even need a when. That's how every it gets.
Of course, that's how ever it gets. Man, that reminds me when I have philosophical, what's going on to my tongue today? But this is literally how it begins and happens when I have philosophical discussions with my other history nerds friends. Man, that's how ever it gets. The universe, of course, it started from nothing, but not exactly nothing. So yeah, let's continue a little bit.
Forget
That's
this.
it?
I want to
Okay.
be something. Go somewhere. Do something. I want things to change. I want to invent time and space. And I know it's possible because everything is here and it probably already happened. I just don't know.
There's a little bit of fallacy here, but I think this is the best, funniest way possible it could be brought together, because if everything here necessary for that to happen, then there is something and not nothing, right? Let's continue.
When to start. And that's exactly where it started.
Boom.
Oh, I paused it. I think there's a universe now.
Okay. The thing is, in this beginning over here, it's a lot of emphasis. Of course, it's very obvious, but I want to talk a little bit about it on the atheist point of view of the world, with a little bit of science. But there's a lot of stuff over here is theory, not science. A lot of people merge theory and science together because of propaganda or whatnot. They forget the meaning of theory and the meaning of science. They forget that this is a theory in the end of the day, and it's not proven. That's all the 5 evolution theories are just theories.
What's it made of?
Quarks and stuff.
Ah, that's
So it
a thing.
starts with quarks.
In a
Yeah,
place.
of course.
Don't like it? Try a new place. At a different time. Try to stick together.
It's actually, he's simplifying so much here in terms of physics. However, if he doesn't simplify this part in terms of physics, jump to the corpse directly, directly, this video gets too long. But there's a lot of stuff before that.
together because the world is going to get bigger
So
and
gravity,
emptier.
gravity is very
But it's not
important.
empty yet. It's still very full and about 1,000,000,000 degrees.
Yeah.
Great
Very
news.
hot,
The quarks
man.
are now happily married in groups of 3.
The reason it's why it's hot is because it's full of energy and exciting stuff. Things are getting exciting. What I mean by things getting excited, like, you know, that atoms and those atom part, those particles are getting excited. And they're moving around. And when things move around, when these things move around, the energy gets released from them, and so things gets hot.
Proton or a neutron. And there's something else flying around.
Non-physicists, when they see this, they would give a wrong idea, seriously, because protons are made of things, neutrons are also made of things, but there is nothing called neutron. Neutron is a concept, because that's again the theory and reality, fact comes in too, because there is nothing that can make us see an atom, because everything is made of atom. So how you gonna see with something made of atom to look at atoms? So atoms, actually how atoms look, it's all theory, and it has a lot of facts. We don't know 100% how they look like or 100% how they act. We know a lot about that, but not 100%, and we're still discovering stuff. For instance, neutron are not one particle. There's nothing called neutron. We created something called neutron, just like how in maths, like if you see a lot of x plus y, like in the equation you're dealing with, there's a whole lot of x plus y. We just make x plus y equal to something and continue. That's basically what we're doing here with neutron. Neutron is made of electron and proton. That's why it becomes neutral, because minus and the plus take out each other's, it becomes neutron. So yeah, there's nothing 100% called neutron. Neutron is made of a proton and an electron teaming up together.
One too that wants to join in but can't because it's still too... Great news. The protons and neutrons are now happily married to each other. Some of them even doubled up. Great news. The electrons have now joined in. Congratulations. The world is now a bunch of gas in space.
Gravity.
But it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together.
Big bang.
It's a star.
New shit just got...
He's making a shortcut here. We have a big bang, then we have stars forming. But he just measured them together, just...
made.
Oh,
Some
shit.
stars burn out and
Yeah,
die.
there's a-
Bigger stars burn out and die with passion and make some brand new, way crazier shit.
Yeah.
Which allows newer, more interesting stars to be made and then die and explode into...
Even crazier space dust.
So
Come
now
on,
stars have
this is
cool
so
stuff
cool.
around them, like rocks, ice, and funny clouds, which can make some very interesting things. Like this ball of flaming rocks, for example. Holy shit, we just got hit with another ball of flaming rocks, and it kind of made a mess, which is...
Oh yeah, the
Weather update, it's raining rocks from outer space. Weather update, those rocks might have had water inside them and now there's hot
water
steam
is
in the
outside
sky.
from there.
Weather update, cooler temperatures today and the floor is no longer lava. Weather update,
raining.
it's raining. Severe flooding alert, the entire world is now an ocean. Volcano alert.
That's land.
There's life in the ocean. What?
Something's alive in the ocean.
Oh cool, like a plant or an animal? No, a microscopic speck. It lives at the bottom of the ocean and eats chemical soup, which is being served hot and fresh, made from gnarly space ingredients left over from when it was raining rocks or whatever. Oh yeah, and it can do that. It has secret instructions written inside itself telling it how to build another one of itself. So that's pretty nifty, I would say. Tired of living at the bottom of the ocean?
Now you can eat sunlight.
Using a revolutionary technique, you can convert sunlight into...
Man, you know how these ads so like come on, you know, whole a lot of ads are just like they're so annoying. But when someone makes fun of it, it's so funny for some reason. Do you know why? Put that in the comments below.
food.
Taste the sun.
Side
Taste
effect,
the
now there's
sun.
oxygen everywhere and the sky's blue. Then the earth might
Yeah,
have been a
the
snowball
yeah,
for a
that's how
while, maybe
oxygen-
even a couple of times. It's a sponge, it's a plant, it's a worm and some other types of weird strange water bugs and strange fish.
It's the Cambrian explosion.
Cambrian explosion. The reason why it's called explosion, because all these things still it's not justified, answered how these came to existence according to Darwin, but it's also according to the other four theory of evolution that we just talked about later before. Yeah, this is getting so fast. That's why it's a whole lot of information to process. But the thing is, that's why it's called Cambrian explosion, because I didn't know from where heck did they come from. There's no steps. There's no ladder. Like, it's kind of it just came to existence again, just like the universe from nothing. There's no something explaining the Cambrian explosion so far. There's some people trying, but trust me, don't get tricked by their propaganda. It's still not explained. The Cambrian explosion all by itself requires a whole video. Not even a video, a series. But let's continue.
Wow, that's animals and stuff. But we're still in the ocean. Hey, can we...
That's a good way to summarize it, basically. But it's a good way, but not a good way to use it always. It makes a whole lot of misconceptions.
go on land? No. Why? The sun is a deadly laser. Okay.
Yeah, because we still didn't have the atmosphere. 100%.
Not anymore, there's a blanket.
Now the animals can go
Goes
on
on,
land.
yep.
Come on, animals, let's go on land. Nope, can't walk yet. And there's no food yet, so I don't care. Okay, will you learn to walk if there's plants up here? Maybe, said some bugs. And fish.
No yet?
Okay, so I can go on land, but I have to go back in the water to have...
Have babies.
Learn to use an egg.
I was already doing that.
Use a stronger egg. Put water in it. Have a baby on land in an egg. Water is in the egg. Baby in the egg, in the water, in the egg. Works for me.
Bye.
Come on. That's way too simplistic. That is so funny. Come on.
Ocean.
And now everything's huge, including bugs.
Yeah.
Want to see a map of the land? Sure.
And boom.
Oh, fuck. Now everything's dead. Just kidding. Here are the survivors. Keep your eye on
One is dead. Man, this guy is super funny.
this one because it's about to become the dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs,
Here's another
yeah.
map of the land. Yeah, it broke apart. Don't worry about it. It does that all the time. Here comes a meteor.
And the dinosaurs are gone.
Bye-bye.
It's mammal time. Here come the mammals. Look at those breasts. Now they're going to dominate the world.
Yeah,
and one of
because
them
this
just learned how
mammal-
to grab stuff.
Alright, yeah. So it's taking the Darwinian approach, just like I said. It's very obvious from the beginning. The thing is with humans, as I said, is Darwinian approach. It's still a theory. It's very important to exactly put in your mind always that this is just a theory. Well, it has some very little evidence. It still have some tone to it. I'm not saying it's just some story written on paper and it's theory. No, it's actual theory. It's like scientifically a theory, but we need to deal with it as a theory, not a fact. A lot of people making money out of talking about these stuff. There's atheists, scientists, very famous ones. I forgot names. I was just put some pictures of them with names. They making money of this, but there's a lot of people just they marketing themselves as scientists. They think they are scientists. However, they kind of making science a religion, and they started to believe with things. But they said we don't believe in anything, so it's kind of like contradicting themselves. This whole we think humans, Adam, we got dropped down on Earth, so it didn't go through any of this process. A human is not part of the animal kingdom. We're not animals. We're not even related to them at any way. So in Islam, we can say we are mammals, but at the same time, we're not part of the mammals. Exactly, we're outside. Like there are humans, and we are. There are animals, and we are humans. Anyway, so it's separate, totally. So that's from the Muslim perspective, religion perspective, Abrahamic religion perspective. This requires a whole video as well to explain. But let's continue.
Like that. And grab stuff at the same time. And bang rocks together to make pointed rocks. Ouch.
Yeah,
And
all
set
of
them
this
on
is
fire.
Darwinian.
Ouch. And make crazy
it's just
sounds
a
with their
theory.
voice.
It's
Which
very
can mean
important.
different things.
That's a human person.
And now they're everywhere. Almost.
Ice Age.
What? You can walk over here? Cool.
Not anymore.
Well, I guess we're stuck here now.
Yeah, stuck.
Let's review. There's people on the planet. And they're chasing their food. Fuck it, time to plant some grass. Look at this. I control the food now. Now everyone will want to be my friend and live near me. Let's all build houses, except mine is bigger because I own the food. This is great.
Classic.
I wonder if anyone else is doing this. Tired of using rocks for everything? Use metal. It's underground. Better farming was just invented in a sweet dank valley right in between the...
Yeah, this is the oldest area in the world, Mesopotamia. Also, sometimes it's the richest, sometimes the second richest. Right, China and Mesopotamia always combat on who's the richest in the world, and they are really rich, not just in the world that time proportionally. They're very rich, Middle East and China. They combat sometimes Middle East first, sometimes China's first. But they're first, second, always in the third because of complicated politics. Although it could have become just equal to the other two. Sometimes it is, a few times. Until the 19th century, 1800s. And then, most specifically, after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, it got GG effed up. So yeah, from the fall of the Ottoman Empire, it's actually the actual Ottoman Empire disappeared in 1908, where the actual Sultan that goes back to Muhammad, the conqueror of the opener of Constantinople, and to Uthman, which is on which we get the Ottoman, as in Arabic we call it Uthman. So it's Ottoman. From Uthman it becomes Ottoman because of pronunciation again. It's hard, so things change. That's why in English it's called Ottoman. In other languages, Spanish, I think it will be called a little bit different. But yeah, okay, you got it. So yeah. Yeah, until 1908. After that, Middle East just way more complicated than other in history it was, and just GG.
These two rivers, and the animals are helping.
Guess what happens next?
More food, and more people who came to
Classic.
buy the food. Now
Yeah.
you need people to help make the food and keep track of the sales. And now you need houses for people to live in and people to make the houses. And now there's more people and they invent
More
things, which makes
people.
things better. And more people come and there's more farming and more people to make more things for more people. And now there's business, money, writing, laws, power.
System, society.
Coming soon to a dank river valley near you.
Yeah, all the civilizations from since here, which is around 8,000 BCE, or more specifically 4,000. There's like a missing history part, but anyway, recorded history is from 4,000 BCE, and the first people started to record history is in the Arabian Peninsula, and then Mesopotamia, and then got to the rest of the world. But just a bonus fact: history in Arabic is tarikh, and the word tarikh, which we use history for, is the same word. It's the same word which we use for date. From this point onwards, all the way up to the 16th century, civilizations, kingdoms gets formed around rivers and lakes, giant lakes. That's simply how things are.
Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, the horse is probably being tamed. Why is all my metal so lame and lumpy? Tired of using lame, sad metal? Introducing
Bronze.
made with special ingredient tin from the far lands of Tinland. I don't know,
There's
my
no
dealer won't tell me
Tinland.
where he gets it. Also, guess what?
Egypt,
Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, they figured out how to put wheels on a horse. Now we're getting somewhere. Also,
China,
and did I mention
These people are getting somewhere. They're gonna conquer some stuff.
Indus River Valley civilization,
For
Norte Chico,
the Middle East is getting more complicated? Maybe because it's in the middle of the East. Not
Middle East is complicated always. So certain centuries it wasn't because it's unified, but it's complicated from the beginning. Although it's from the Babylonian Empire onwards, Middle East is complicated. From the late Babylonian Empire, late here means in the end, not the new Babylonian Empire, the Babylonian Empire. From that point onwards, Middle East so damn complicated. But you can say the entire world is complicated. It is. Do you think life is easy? I'm sorry, but it is what it is. GG. Anyway, so these horsemen gonna conquer some stuff.
Not, clop clop. It's the people with the horses. And they made an empire. And then everyone else copied their horses. Greeks! Ah, look, it must be the Greeks. Or a beta version of the Greeks. Let's check in with the Indus River Valley civilization. They're gone. Guess who's not gone?
China, new arrivals in the
You know why he's saying guess who's gone? India? Because it was so divided. But the thing is, why is guess who's not gone? China. Because China is always unified, breaks. It always breaks. Meng always explode, man. So, yeah, when you play, that civilization game, man, it always Meng explode. Some reason. Anyway, thinking of the Opium Wars and stuff like that. But let's continue.
India. Maybe it's those
Yeah,
horse
India always
people
gets
talking
conquered by-
about or their cousins or something. And they wrote some
Yeah,
hymns
they are
and
tribes. That's why they're
mantras and
cousins.
stuff.
You could make a religion out of this.
I don't like how he's like making fun of religions or whatnot. You shouldn't do it like this. Exactly, I don't like it a lot. Troy, there's some evidence that Troy did exist. Not exactly how you think.
Bronze Age collapse.
Now the Phoenicians can get down to business.
They
Also, can you
always do
switch to a
business.
metal that's a little easier to find? Thanks. Look who came back to Israel. It's the 12 tribes of Israel.
And they believe in God.
Just one, though. He's got like a 10-step program.
10-step program. By the way, 10-step program is the same with the Jews, and somewhat similar with the Muslims.
Here's some huge heads. Must be the Olmecs. The Phoenicians make some colonies. The Greeks copy their idea and make some colonies. The Phoenicians made a colony so big it makes colonies. Here comes the Assyrian Empire. Never mind, it's the Babylonian Median.
It's the Persian Empire.
Wow, that's big. Ah, the Buddha was just enlightened. Who's the Buddha? This guy who sat under a tree for so long that he figured out how to ignore the fact that we're all dying.
I don't like this simplification. It's about relaxing and finding the emptiness by not being empty yourself, but to focus so much that basically ultra instant, but to focus so much that you basically empty your mind, to be shapeless and formless, to be everything and something at once. That's the idea, psychologically speaking, which helps a lot in thinking and finding stuff like
Religion out of this. Oops, China just broke, but what?
Maybe you can make a religion out of this. Actually, there's some evidence saying that Buddha didn't want it to become a religion, but it just became a religion anyway. However, this Jin, Ki, Yan, Ken, Chu, these not exactly how they are. Later they become Kin, Chu, Ki, Yan, Zhao, Han, Wu. We. Sorry. The 7 warring state period. But later, this is not the 7 warring state period. This is what I call it, part of the bigger picture of the spring and autumn wars, because they fight in the spring and the autumn. Yeah. So later on, it becomes the 7 warring state period, where Qin wins it after they got attacked by a coalition, almost all of them except for Qi, and then somehow they get very lucky and they manage to defeat the coalition, even though the coalition outnumbered them anywhere between 3 to 5 times. But they had a really strong defensive position though. So yeah, Qi didn't help the rest of the coalition because it had some business diplomats with Qi. However, in my opinion, if Qi would help the rest of the coalition at that point, I think they would have took over Qin, and we wouldn't have China, because the word China today, we get it from kin, not chu. So yeah. Anyway, Jin will break. They all break. Anyway, continue.
While it was breaking, Confucius was figuring out how to have good morals. Ah, the Greeks just had the idea of thinking about stuff. And right over here, Alexander just had the idea of conquering the entire Persian Empire. It's a great idea. He was great. And now he's dead. Hopefully the rest of the gang will be able to share the empire evenly between them. Knock knock, it's Chandragupta. He says, get the hell out of here. Will you get the hell out of here if I give you 500 elephants? Okay, thanks, bye.
Time to conquer all of India, or most of India.
Yeah, he did.
But what about this part? That's the Tamil Kings. No one conquers the Tamil Kings. Who are the Tamil Kings?
Merchants.
Merchants. Yeah.
And they've got spice.
It's not necessary to conquer them, because if you conquer all the rest of India and you just leave these guys over here, basically you give them mercy to them. Like, it's even not conquering them, is like swearing at them. You're making them look weak, that they're not worth even conquering. Well, I'm not meaning that they're not even worth conquering because they're rich and merchants. However, this big empire can make all it is necessary stuff that it needs out of this area without conquer it. Because this is the big boss here, and if they want to conquer, they will conquer. It's like having a nuclear weapon. These guys over the merchant will obey anything that the big guy above here that controls rest of India says. So it's not necessary actually to conquer them anyway.
Who would like to buy the spices? Me, said the Arabians, swiftly buying it and selling it to the rest of the world. Hey, China put itself back together again, with good morals.
Yeah, the king unified China. The first emperor of China.
Is their main
Emperor, what is his name? Man, I'm watching Three Kingdoms. I like the Three Kingdoms anime. I'm not getting all my information from anime, but don't worry. What is his name? Shin. No, not Shin. That's his general. Come on. What is his name, man? The first emperor. Emperor Yan, isn't it? Yeah, Yan.
philosophy.
Yan? I think. I'll put an image.
Actually, they have three main philosophies.
Confucianism having good morals. Kind of. Yeah, that's most of it. Taoism is go with the flow. Yep. Legalism. Obey the law. Yeah, basically. But all of these three are necessary. They're intertwined. That's like a triangle. You need all of these three.
Out here, the horse nomads run wild and free, and they would like to ransack your city.
Yeah.
Let's check the Greekification levels of the Greekified kingdoms. Greekification overload. Bye, said the Parthians. Bye, said the Jews. Hi, said the Parthians, taking over the entire place. Hey, said the Romans, eating the entire Mediterranean for breakfast. Thanks for invading our homeland.
What a type of breakfast that takes over a century. It's not a breakfast. It was hard as, even for the Romans. Although it was kind of a breakfast.
Said the Jews, who were starting to get tired of people invading their homeland. Hi, everything's great, said
Now we're on first year. Jesus.
some guy who seems to be getting very popular and is then arrested and killed for being too popular, which only makes him more popular. You can
According to Islam, Jesus didn't die. He didn't get crucified. Just to mention that. And we believe in Jesus as a prophet. And before he got crucified, he was taken by God. And there's a person who got crucified whom God made him look like Jesus, but he is not Jesus. And then this requires a whole video, and it's alright, but let's continue.
make a religion out of this. Want silk? Now you can buy it from China. They just made a...
The history of Christianity is far more complicated than this because Christianity got changed. You just can't argue with that. I'm sorry, Christian, but all historians, even Christian historians, all the people that knows history, knows Christianity as well from close, even Christians themselves who are knowledgeable, they know that Christianity got changed, and Christianity in the beginning was a Jewish religion, and then it got all over the place. But then those people whom the religion got to that went over the place of the Roman Empire, through the Roman Empire, these people took over. They had their own ideas, and then it changed over. And I would say that the Christian Jews' teachings were preserved in Islam.
Or you can get their own water. Sick, new
Yeah,
trade
of
routes,
course.
said India, accidentally spreading their religion to the entire southeast. That's a good...
That's how things works, like religion and stuff. Because as I said, like from India to here, Thailand, whatnot, and nowadays terms, Vietnam, is literally, for them going over the sea on ship, even by this time, it's a miracle. This is big journey. This is too complicated for them. I mean, because there's not much communication. So when people getting communication through merchants, they're like, people would just discuss their ideas, and then some people over here in Thailand just like the idea of Buddhism, so they converted. Simple as that.
Good place for an epic trading kingdom. There goes Buddhism traveling up the Silk Road. I wonder if it'll reach China before it collapses again.
Well, the Three Kingdoms era, in my opinion, Three Kingdoms era starts from the Yellow Turban Rebellion. However, there's other people who say that the Three Kingdoms era starts when Lu Bu kills Danzhou. Others will say when the Wei Shu declares themselves as separate empires. It doesn't matter. The actual beginning of the Three Kingdoms era is from the Yellow Turban Rebellion. And that's how things are in China, because they too collected upon themselves, but plus they're far away from the rest of the world, and there's mountains between them and in India. And the sea is big. Like, China had the most powerful, capable navy in the world for most of the history. I'm saying most of history, all the way up until the 17th century. Why not after that? Because from the 17th century onwards, they too isolated way more than before, even though they're getting other people trying to knock on their doors. And they has been for a long time, didn't go to war, so they not experienced soldiers, neither experienced generals. Especially need experienced generals. There's no wars, you're not fighting. Because back in the history in the days, like, if you don't fight, somebody will fight you. If you don't conquer, somebody else will conquer you. And even if that didn't happen, somewhere in the future will happen. And when that happen, if you don't attack somebody, you wouldn't know who's capable to lead the army. You wouldn't have capable, experienced soldiers, neither commanders. And you wouldn't be able to, even the commanders wouldn't understand the full potential of their army, what's their weaknesses and what's their strength. So yeah, that's because far away, China always collapsed on itself. Because yeah, for them, like a Chinese emperor, like the king of the world, because they don't care outside China.
Remember the Persian Empire? Yep, said the Persians, making a new one. Axum is getting so powerful they would like to build a long stick. Has anyone populated Madagascar yet? Let's do it together.
China's home again.
The Jin. Actually, the Jin are the same as the we in the north, but they changed the name with the descendants of Satsao. Yeah. They did that because they have a big army, and the smart guy, the sleeping dragon, just died, so that's why it became easy.
Then it broke again.
As usual.
Still can't cross the Sahara Desert? Try camels,
Hell yeah, now we got business.
said the Ghana Empire, selling lots of gold and slaves. Hi, I live in the Roman Empire, and I was wondering...
Is loving Jesus legal yet?
No. Actually, okay, sure, said Constantine, moving the capital way over here to be closer to his main rival. Don't worry about Rome, it won't fall.
It's the golden age of India.
There's the Gupta Empire, not Chandragupta, just Gupta. First name Chandra.
Yeah.
First. Guess who's in Rome?
Barbarians.
What's a barbarian? Non-Romans, said the Romans, being invaded by
The thing is, the word barbarian. Oh, let's move on.
non-Romans. R.I.P.
Okay. Just something to explain here. The Romans talk about anybody who is as a Roman in the Roman Empire. Anybody who is not part of the Roman Empire, not Roman basically, and not Persian. Anyone who's not Roman, neither Persian, and not in this area is described and talked about as if they are barbarians. And and that's from where we get the word barbarians, which is like saying not Romans, not civilized, because the Roman Empire making some propaganda about them. They are civilized, but just different, not Romans. So yeah. Just to explain that, let's continue.
The Roman Empire.
And this is very related. This is very related to the Assyrian revolt and the Assyrian religion thing, and the conference and the what's the word? And the creeds of those different religious meetings in terms of the Christian, the different Christian creeds, where you get the Assyrians, the Unitarian Christians, for which some wars happened, some discussions. As Muslims, we view Unitarians, Arisians as Muslims. That's basically what Islam is. It's being Arisian. Arisian believe as well that Jesus is just a prophet. It's not God. It's not the Son of God. The thing is, Arios versus Athanasios. Just search that, Arios vs Athanasios, and you see, like, from this, a lot of wars came to being. A lot of them just about money and power, plus discussions about religion, but it's not pure war on religion thing. Is because a lot of Roman Empire so far, even now, it's still they're not Christians or even religious, some of them, and some of them even hate religion. Some of them, way too much attached to a Greek/Roman god thing, and they want to kill anyone who doesn't believe in that. They're extremists in that regard.
Deep in the Arabian desert, on the top of a mountain, the real God whispers in Muhammad's ear. So he goes down to the cube where everyone worships gods, and he tells them their gods are all fake. And everyone got so mad at him that he had to leave town and go to a different town.
That's way too simplified, because, well, I understand this here all by itself requires a video. The thing is, why I just want to add a little bit of information here. After Muhammad got the revelation, he stayed in Mecca for 13 years. And then after that, he got to Medina. Before it called Medina, which means city of prophet, or the city with the. Like, I'm not saying the city, the name of the city. But that's what Medina means. But before that, it was called Yathrib, and they got there because the Meccans started to do some extreme persecution. So the prophet just fled.
You can make a religion out of this and maybe conquer the world as well.
It's not making a religion out of this. From the beginning, it was a religion. And in terms of conquering the world, that requires a whole video. A lot of people have misconceptions in this regard. But the thing is, later on, after it's unified, because Prophet Muhammad had less than nine battles, and most of them are defensive, because they got persecuted and the Meccans want to destroy them. So the Meccans are always coming after them. Then after Prophet Muhammad defeated the Meccans, rest of the tribes and the few cities in Arabian Peninsula just. Because before 2 years from Muhammad taking Mecca, the thing is, what happened is finally they made a treaty of peace that's supposed to last for 10 years, but it didn't because the Meccans broke it in a way or another. Prophet Muhammad got angry on that, so he said, "We want to take Mecca." The Meccans surrendered, and Prophet Muhammad was happy with that. Then he just released them, so they free, but just so they obey the law. Then later on they got convinced, because there's some friendly discussion. What happens is convert to Islam. Then a lot of more friendly discussions with leaders of other tribes around, and so the rest of the Arabian Peninsula converted to Islam. Conversion of Islam in the Arabian Peninsula wasn't by sword, okay? The sword was on the Muslims in the Arabian Peninsula. Then in terms of the fight of the Persian, the Roman Empire, a lot of people like look at this huge, they did it so fast, but the thing you wanna know and understand that all of this, it's only two empires. It's like two countries. It just they happen to be surrounded by the two greatest empires of the time. That's all it is, and they kicked both of them simultaneously. A lot. There's a historian says that at the time, for the Arabians of the desert of the Arabian Peninsula taking on the Roman Empire, the Byzantine Roman Empire, and the assistant Persian Empire, it's like imagine the the tribes people of living in Russia. What's their name? Osmos? I forgot their name. Taking on Russia and the United States, both simultaneously at once, or in terms of today's language, it's like going against China and USA simultaneously and defeating them very quickly. That's what happened. But the thing why this happened primarily is because the Persian Empire, after like the Arabian Peninsula got unified, the Persian Empire supported an outbreak after a break in the community, and because Persian Empire is seeing them, they really were dick. The Persian Empire at this time, this version of the Persian Empire that was there, not in terms of the leader, but the assassinate Persian Empire, the last Persian Empire, they were horrible, like seriously. But the thing is, they supported, they made the political situation uneasy in the area, and they caused civil war. They supported these people that making the civil war with weapons and small units and specific warriors and stuff like that through the sea. They supporting them and stuff like that. So then that's why the Arabs attacked the Persian Empire first. Sorry about this. So they attacked the Persian Empire first, but the thing is they didn't want to attack from there for some reason, so they had to attack both the Persian and the Roman simultaneously. But it happened, they defeated them, and it's one of the only situations in the entire history of the world that somebody fights two front wars and defeat them simultaneously. So at least an exception to the United States, as well as they did that in World War II. However, in World War II, the enemy is stupid, seriously. But over here is they defeat both. It's one of the only times in history. So this is a very simplified version of it, but let's continue.
The Roman Empire is long gone, but somehow the Pope is still the Pope. Plus
Yeah,
there's
it's really
Kingdoms
fun.
all over Europe.
I wonder if there's room for Moors. Here's all the wisdom. In a house. It's the Baghdad House of Wisdom. Just in time for the
Islamic Golden Age.
Let's bring stuff to the coast and sell it and become the Swahili on the Swahili coast, said the Swahili on the Swahili coast. Remember this tiny space you have to go through to get from here to there? Someone owns that now. Want to get enlightened in the middle of nowhere? The Franks have the biggest kingdom in Europe, and the Pope is so proud that he invites the king over for Christmas. Surprise, you're the new Roman emperor, said the Pope, pretending to still be part of the Roman Empire. Then the Franks broke their kingdom into what will later be called France and not France. The Northerners,
France.
just Norse if you don't have much time, are exploring.
Yeah.
They go north,
No,
from
sure,
the
from
north
north.
to the northern north, and they find some land, two types of land, and they name them accordingly. They also invade some other places and get called many
Yeah,
names,
it's
such
so
as Vikings.
Yeah,
There's the Rus, the
that's
Kievan Rus.
literally
Are
what
they
happened.
Vikings? I don't think so, said the
Yeah, the thing is,
Kievan Rus. Okay, fair enough. The Pope is ready to make some more emperors of the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire. It's actually Germany, but don't worry
Yeah,
about
don't
it.
worry, it's
New
German.
kingdoms.
Christianize all the kingdoms.
Which brand would you like? Mine's better. Mine's better. Mine's better. Time to conquer England, said William. It's a bird. It's a plane.
It's the Seljuk Turks.
yeah, Seljuk Turks made a lot of problems, plus they made a lot of good stuff. But it's because of the Seljuk Turks that the crusade was justified.
said the Byzantine Empire, who's getting so small it almost doesn't exist anymore. We need help. They need help, so they call the Pope. Hey, Pope, can you help us get rid of the Seljuks? Maybe take back the Holy Land on the way? Come on, I know you want to take back the Holy Land. Yes, I do actually want to do that. Let's do a crusade.
Crusade.
They did many crusades, some of which almost didn't fail, but at least the Italians got some sweet trade deals. Goodbye,
Yeah.
Mayans.
Hello, Toltecs.
Goodbye, Toltecs.
Hello, Mississippi.
Look at those mounds. There's the Pueblo. I always wondered how to build a town in a cliff. Guess who's here? Come here. Where? Here. And Pagan is there. Vietnam unconquered itself, Korea just became itself, and Japan is so addicted to art that the military might have to take
Yeah,
over the
that's
government.
what you are.
China just invented bombs and typing. And the Mongols just invaded most of the universe. Nice going, Genghis. I bet that will last a long time. Some of
Yeah.
the
The thing is, things don't last long time because of communications and transport. But at the same time, the thing is why stuff like this don't last a long time, not just because of communication and stuff like that. It's because their leaders, they just focus on making big, but they didn't focus to make it strong internally. That's one point. Second point is because sometimes they don't, a lot of time they don't prepare themselves for, unknown events, because the Mongol Empire collapsed only when the guy who became the Mongol Emperor after Genghis Khan, the guys few after him, it was all fine, stuff like that, and united, and because of loyalty and stuff. But one of them, I forgot his name. I will just put an image here for him. I think we will see or edit it. But the thing is, one of them died before he appointed an heir, because it's like the Mongol Emperor, but it's literally it gets selected. So he needs to select an heir out of the generals and stuff. But the thing is, he died before he do so. So then it started the rivalry thing and it's collapsed. If that didn't happen, I don't think so. The Mongol Empire will collapse until centuries later. But yeah.
The Islamic Turks were unaffected by the Mongol invasions because they were busy invading India. Is it Tonga time? I think it's Tonga time. I just found out where
That invading India thing is, it's like needs a lot of essays and series all by itself. Like those Turks there did a lot of horrible stuff, but it's not Muslim Hindus thing. It's need a video to explain that. That's a big claim, I know, but please just understand this.
the
I'll make a
Swahili gets
video
all
on
their
it.
gold.
Just-
Look at this.
However, if you want it really badly to me explaining this, just write down the comments below if you want to.
Chad means lake. There's an empire there, right in the middle of
Yeah.
The king of Mali is so rich,
Just like, as I said in the beginning, it's around lakes and rivers.
she's going on tour to let everyone know. Wow, that guy's rich.
It's actually, he was the richest. Actually, right now, by today's standards, he's still the richest man on earth.
Everyone said. The Christians are doing a great job reconquering Iberia, which
The thing is, the Muslim empires just got divided, so the guys on Iberia not getting any support. Otherwise, reconquista is impossible.
will soon be called Spain and not Spain. Please remain Christian. We will check in later to see if you're still Christian when you least expect. Whoops, half of Europe.
Yeah, the execution, because of that, and never again Islam came back to it. But because the execution just killed they killed all the Muslims and the Jews. So no more Muslim control. The thing is, I want to explain something before we talk about this horrible thing, Black Death. The thing is, with it is Muslim. Yes, they expanded and thing, but usually is, as I said in the beginning, is fighting only two empires that just don't want to talk at all, and they very, very tyrannical at the time. However, later on, it got the Muslim empire got divided. There's a lot of small battles that's for money. Like for example, they fought in two battles, the Tang Empire in Central Asia, which is just for control. Just I said, like, if you don't conquer, somebody will conquer you. If you don't fight, you wouldn't have experience. Somebody else will conquer you, even if you're rich. So it's not like in today's stands, because today we have technology, we have weapons, stuff like that. However, back then, the experience of your soldiers and generals are the most important thing. In fact, if you don't have battles, who is the general? How will you employ the general? why this guy is general. What did it achieve? Because a general, to become a general, needs to achieve things, not just study and do stuff. History is complicated, I know. That requires a whole video in itself again. But the thing is, like for instance, the Muslim didn't enter India, didn't even enter India politically, just a little bit of merchantship. The Turks entered India because the Mongols getting into their area, so they shifted to India. Plus, it was an easy target back then. And on top of that, a lot of these Turks that entered India were originally Mongols and Tatars. The Tatars came with the Mongols, they allied with the Mongols. But the Tatars is from which we give Ottoman Empire and the Turks, Ottoman Turks. And but the thing is, you know, when after Hulagu, the grandson of Genghis Khan took Baghdad and something like that. Yes, they conquered Muslim areas, but then Islam conquered them, even though they massacred like half of the population of Baghdad. Like, what half of the population? 800,000 from over 1 million. Like, literally, they killed 800,000 with their own bare hand of a civilian living in Baghdad, because it was the biggest city of the most at the time, out of like 1 million and a little bit. So, yeah. That requires a whole video on itself again. There's a whole many things that requires a whole video on itself. But the thing is, the Turks, what I'm saying, that entered India had some Mongol effect in them. A lot of the generals were using Islam as a tool. Some of them didn't pray even the Friday prayer, which makes their Islam questionable. That's why a lot of bad things happen. It's only a few generals as well, but like these leaders, these warlords that ruled, they lasted long. They ruled for 60 over years. So, but there's few of them. So anyway,
Just died. China's back, yay! Hey, come here. Time.
Ming actually ruled for a long time, just like the Han for 400, 500 years. Ming did decent until the Qin came from Manchuria, because Manchuria wasn't part of China. But then they came from Manchuria and conquered Ming. But literally, Ming is so nice. If the king didn't take it and became lazy, because the king, they will be lazy. But if Ming continue, it will like when they get contact with a European, in fact, they will get contact with European, not European get contact with them. They will get, European technology and weapons before the Japanese, and we're gonna have a very powerful empire with a giant navy and stuff like that. I would reckon they will conquer a whole lot of the world. They colonize it. It will be a really massive power to deal with. The entire Europe wouldn't want to mess with. That would change history. Let's
To share new kingdoms here and there. Oh, look who controls all the islands. It's the Mahajapit, Majapahit, Mapajahit,
Yeah, always it's really hard to
Mapajahit, Majapahit. Oh, Italy's really rich. Time for them to care a lot about art and the ancient classics. It's kind of like a rebirth. Here's a printer. Let's make books. So you think you...
Printers are literally sweet. That's why we have the type of civilization we have nowadays. Printers are very important. They transform the world because it's much easier to make books. Before printers, when you make a book, usually the book has only few copies. Like literally. So when someone like in Baghdad, the House of Wisdom got burned and destroyed, a lot of people say like millions of books. At least we're talking about 1 million books got destroyed. So I'm saying like perhaps each book has two copies. So when I say 2 books have 2 copies, so from 500,000 to 2 million books destroyed. That's it. You can't get access to them. It's not like modern libraries where they get burned, they just print another book. That's not how it is. So it's really transformed the world.
You can conquer the Byzantine Empire? Yep, said the Ottoman Turks. Nice job, Ottoman Turks. Whoops,
you
you missed a
forgot that
spot.
tiny
Don't forget to ban Europe from the Indian spice trade. What? That's bullshit, said Portugal, spiceless.
Well, I guess we'll have to find another way to...
this happened a little bit later, and with the Ottoman Empire, but a little bit later. Plus, Portugal didn't fully control the Indian Ocean and didn't succeed that much. Same with Spain, and they got kicked out by the Ottomans. That's why later on, the British made a colony in Southeast Asia to make a base there, and from there they conquered India. If the Portuguese didn't try to do this and the Spanish didn't try to do this funny business, I don't think so. Ottoman Empire with a navy in the Indian Ocean would be that weak, and I would say that they'll be able to defend India against the British, and we wouldn't have British India. But that requires a whole video in itself. But it's really good to emphasize that the Portuguese and the Spanish did this around Africa thing, not only to make spices and stuff in empires, but they had a plan of a crusade, a new type of crusade. Their plan is to take the grave of Muhammad and then make discussion with a Muslim. Is we're gonna return back the grave of Muhammad to you, but but you should give us Jerusalem. So they were trying to. That's why they make colonies inside the Arabian Peninsula. They're trying to, reach the Medina, which they didn't succeed in. That's their main objective. In India is secondary, but still important, not pure secondary. Later on, it became the main. It became the main objective because they saw it was impossible to do that one. What's also. So yeah, let's move on.
India.
Wait, said Christopher Columbus, probably smoking crack. If the world is round, let's go this way to India. No, don't worry,
I want to tell you that Christopher Columbus actually knowed about. He didn't. That's the general misconception about Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus and the Spanish and the Portuguese, from the writing of the Muslims in Andalus, in the Arabian Peninsula, in the Islamic Spain, or Hispania, Islamic Hispania as the Romans call it, from which we get Spain. Muslim before the Moors. Moors over here is kind of a racist description that the Christian used at the time from the West to the Muslims. But anyway, just additional bonus. However, from their things and from the Viking things, they know that there is a continent there and it's not India. There was some idea that through that we get to India, but they know there's a continent there. And the Muslims of Spain got to America before, and the Viking, as he said before, they got to America before too, but not exactly. They didn't make it that deep. There wasn't that much focus on that. Just on some explorers without a follow-up, and the Muslims didn't have time to follow up. The Ottomans reached North and South America before, but they didn't wanted to follow up because they're more focused on India. It's more at the time more powerful. Also because it is more far away, because Spain is right there compared to to Turkey. So yeah, he knows there's a continent there. He had maps and stuff.
said Portugal. So Chris goes to Spain. Hey Spain, want to hire me to find India by going around back of the world? No, please, no, please, no, please. Okay. So he sails into the ocean and discovers more ocean, and then discovers the Indies and Japan. Let's draw a line to decide who gets which half of the world. The Aztec and Inca empires are off to a great start. I wonder if they know that Europe just discovered their continent. The Habsburgs are marrying into so many royal families they might have to start marrying each other. Move over, Lithuania. Here comes Moscow. Ivan wants to make Russia great again. Move over, Timurids. Maybe go invade India or something. Persia just made Persia Persian again.
This is very important here, because these guys really, really evil. They're not just Persia, they are worse than Persia, and they're really, really evil. And they're not Shia, they're not even Muslims. They're not even Shia. They were using religion to fight Islam. They're using Islam to fight Islam. The leaders of this group are not Muslims. They hate Muslims. They hate Arabs. They killed 10 million people at the time, 1/6 of the population of the world, man. They really hate Muslims. This requires a whole video. Tell me in the comments below if you want to make me to make a video on this.
Let's make it the other kind of Islam. The one where we thought the first guy should have been the other guy. Hey Christians, do you sin?
That's way too much.
Now you can buy your way out of hell. That's bullshit.
These things happened before, like during the crusade. He's mixing dates a little bit.
This whole thing is bullshit. That's a scam. Fuck
It's really a scam.
the church. Here's 95 reasons why.
Oh, if he added one more reason, man. If he added one more reason. Anyway, but he's truthful in that regard, because the Catholic Church is, as an organization, not as a Catholic Church, as something you follow, a sect of Christianity, but as an organization, it's so fucking corrupt and so fucking, yeah. There's 95 reasons. If you're Christian, please read these.
Why, said Martin Luther in his new book, which might have accidentally started the Protestant Reformation. You know what would be magnificent, said Suleiman wearing an onion hat? What if the Ottoman Empire was really big, which it is now? What if Russia was big, said Ivan, trying not to be terrible.
He's Ivan the Terrible.
Portugal had a dream that they controlled the entire Indian Ocean, including the spice trade. And then that dream was real. And Spain
Not really.
realized that this is not India, but they
completely.
pillaged it anyway. Damn, said
They
England.
couldn't hold to it for a long time. They got kicked out by the Ottomans, even though they had support from Spain.
In France, we gotta start pillaging some stuff. Then the Dutch revolt and all the hipsters moved to Amsterdam. Damn, said Amsterdam. We gotta start pillaging some stuff. Question 1, can you get to India through North America? No, but at least there's beaver. Question 2, steal the spice trade. That's not a question, but the Dutch did it anyway. Guess where all the sugar's made? In Brazil. Stolen. In the Caribbean.
The Dutch didn't do it completely. They had a lot of problems with the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire is still the main guy in the Indian Ocean all the way until the invasion of Egypt by Napoleon, the mainland Egypt by Napoleon. Or some people can say from the failed attempt of the siege of Vienna, 16 something, I forgot. Is it 1666? 1667? Anyway, so yeah.
And it's so goddamn profitable, you might forget to not do slavery.
Yeah.
The next thing on Russia's to...
But slavery in this regard, slavery of the Caribbean and, African people from Africa going to America or United States as we know it now, and the triangle thing, this type of slavery is so different from any type of slavery in the rest of the history of the world. Slavery in Islam is called servantship. It's way different. Completely. Like 350 degrees different.
The do list is to get bigger. Britain and France are having a friendly discussion about who should control the entire world, more specifically, Ohio. Then it escalates into a 7-year discussion, giving Prussia a chance to show Austria who's boss. But what about Britain and France? Did they figure out who's boss? Yes, they did. It's Britain. Guess who's broke? Also Britain. So they start taxing the hell out of America. Fuck you, says America, declaring their independence and fighting for it. And France helps them win. Now,
That's literally it's because of just the taxes. It's literally just because of taxes. India, UK without India, or the United States wouldn't be UK, wouldn't be the Great Britain Empire, British Empire. England wouldn't be England. After they lost the 13 colonies, that's why they went after India. Anyway, the British and the Americans, especially at this time, they're very similar to each other. It's just the main reason was the tax.
France is broke, and Britain will have to send their prisoners to a different continent. Wait, if France is broke, why do the king and queen still wear such fancy dresses? Let's overthrow the palace and cut all their heads off.
Yeah, Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette. Man. This, It's really complicated. It's also related to the Freemasonry.
Said Robespierre, cutting everybody's head off until someone eventually got mad and cut his head off. You could make a religion. No, don't. The media is
Yeah,
starting
they
to like
almost
you.
did. Actually, they almost made a religion out of it. So stupid.
You have a revolution.
This is. I want to comment on something. A lot of people, when they hear very stupid religions making stories and stuff like that, they a lot of atheists, especially the atheists that are doing propaganda and stuff, they put that on this label on every single religion. But Abrahamic religion are different, and due to the evidence, you see Islam. I mean, they are different according to how we know them today, Judaism and Christianity. But Islam is way different than any religion in this world.
Especially the slaves, who free themselves by killing their masters. Why didn't we think of this before?
Yeah, I was wondering this.
Wait, who's in charge of France now? Said Napoleon, trying to take over Europe. Luckily, they banished him to an island.
But he came back.
Luckily, they banished him to another island. There goes Latin America, becoming independent.
That happened because the French were controlling Spain. So after the French lost, this brother Napoleon just got kicked out of Spain and stuff like that. Then they started doing revolution. Then the British and the new French didn't want this area to be so damn powerful. Same to United States, because they want to fight Mexico to take some areas and manifest their destiny, which he's gonna talk about later differently. A little bit later, but the thing why we have all these different countries in South America and Central America is because the Britain are trying to divide them. Otherwise, they will be damn powerful and they will just kick ass the rest of the world.
In the Latin American war.
I mean, they're not that powerful, but in terms of back in the days ways of doing things and how the economy back in the days, it will give them a lot of advantages.
Wars of independence. Britain just figured out how to turn steam into power, so now they can make
Many different types of machines and factories with machines in them, so they can make a lot of products real fast.
Then they invent some trains and conquer India and maybe put some trains there. Hey, China, said Britain, buy stuff from us. Nah, dude, we already got everything, says China. So Britain tried to get them addicted to opium, which worked actually. But then China made it illegal and dumped it all into the sea. So Britain threw a hissy fit and made them open up 5 cities and give them an island. Britain and Russia are playing a game where they try to stop each other from conquering Afghanistan. Also, the
Sultan of Oman lives in Zanzibar now.
that's just where he lives. India just had a revolution and they would like to govern themselves now. Nope, said Britain, governing them even harder than before.
Technology is about to go crazy.
The United States finally
Yeah,
figured out whether
technology
slavery
got
is
so
good or
crazy.
bad. It's bad, they decided. And then they continued manifesting their destiny, which is to kill the rest of the natives and take...
So bad how they killed rest of the natives. Like, come on, man. It had a lot of racist application to it and stuff like that. This requires a whole video again.
their land and maybe kick out the Mexicans too. I know, let's rape Africa, said Europe, scrambling to see who could rape it the fastest.
They never
You know,
got-
since then, since the UK invaded South Africa, from that point on, Africa is in its worst state in its history ever.
Ethiopia.
Britain and France are still hungry.
They never got Thailand.
The United States ran out of destiny to manifest, so they're looking for more.
Hawaii, Cuba.
Wait, Spain controls Cuba. Well, blame something on them and go to war. What should we blame on Spain? Let's blame the Maine on Spain. So they blame the Maine on
That's
Spain.
exactly what
Now we're in business. To celebrate, they kick Panama out of Panama and make a canal, connecting the 2 oceans. Britain just found oil in the Middle East.
It makes cars go.
China is so tired of being
Yes.
bossed around that they delete their old government and make a new, stronger government, which is accidentally weaker and controlled by a guy from the previous government. Europe hasn't had a war since the last war, so they start World War I. Look at those guns. It's gonna be a great war. So great we won't need a second one. After it's over, they blame Germany.
If your Ottoman Empire didn't join World War One, it will be entire history of the world would be different. But it's a better question to say, what if the real Sultan of the Ottoman Empire in 1908, the coup on him didn't work, and of course he wouldn't join the Ottoman Empire, but he would still be a legitimate caliph, and so the Arabs wouldn't get angry because France and the UK managed to defeat the Ottoman Empire only because they got support of the Arabs because they tricked them, and he's going to talk about it just a little bit later. If the Ottoman Empire and the Caliph of 1908 continue, they didn't join World War One, the entire world of history would be whole different.
Russia went on strike and the workers overthrew the government. Now everyone's paycheck is the same.
Communism in the Soviet Union.
The Arabs
all everyone paycheck is the same.
and Britain helps. Now the Ottoman Empire's gone, so we can give the
Jewish people a place to live.
Hopefully the Arabs won't mind. Let's cut the cake, said Sykes and Picot, carving up the remains of the not-so-Ottoman-anymore empire.
Except Turkey. Turkey makes a brand new Turkey.
And then the Saudis conquer Arabia. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Hello? Yes, it's the 1920s calling. Let's get in the car and drive to a party and listen to jazz on the radio and go to the movies. The economy's great and it'll probably be great forever. Just kidding. Germany's back featuring Hitler, the angry mustache model, and he's mad at the Jews for existing. Japan is finally conquering the East, and they're so excited they rape Nanking way too hard. They should probably just deny it. Hitler's out of control, so the international community tackles him and tries to explain why killing all the Jews is a bad idea, but he kills himself before they could explain it to him.
That's World War II.
Bonus round,
Yeah,
Pacific
that's
Showdown,
basically-
United States versus Japan.
What's this,
Fight.
man? This is like the first game.
Finish it. Let's unite all the nations and have some
That's what
Seems
happened.
legit. Hi, I'm Gandhi, and if Britain doesn't get the hell out of India, I'm going to starve myself in public. Wow, that worked. Bonus,
It's actually really worked. It has a reason why it's worked. A lot of people don't know the reason and stuff like that. It's actually very intelligent.
they figured out which one of them should live in the Holy Land. Me, they both said at the same time. Let's
Like, seriously, why the Jews have... Like, we don't have problem with the Jews. Like, before these type of Jews, the Zionist Jews, the Jews from all over the world, come, especially Europe, after the Holocaust, come to Palestine. Before that, there was Arab Jews. Arab Jews are living in Palestine, whom are the real Jews by blood. What I mean is, Jewish term is a bit tricky, because Jewish can mean you are a believer in Judaism, but also can mean separately that you are a Jewish by culture, by blood, DNA. Different people. I mean, different tribe. Different people. It's like Asians, Jews. You know how like Asians, Africans as Jews, right? Just like how there's Kurds, Turks, Mongols. So what I mean by that, the Jews that lives in Palestine, they can be tracked back to the 12 original tribes of Israel. Those are the real Jews. The rest of the Jews around the world, they are converts, or 99.99% of them are converts, and this very tiny piece of just mix everywhere. Possibly, if not all of them, just converts. They just converted to Judaism. They don't have the right to go to the mainland, to the Holy Land. Well, they can visit and stuff like that, but not live there and call it Israel. What for this problem we can blame the Romans? Why are you not blaming Italy and stuff like that? Why the Arabs and stuff like that? It has a lot of politics and complicated stuff. It has a lot of what Britain wants to, and superpowers decision, and that superpowers are just dick. So yeah, the thing is, bring Jews from all over the world to live in Palestine as if it is their own, as if it is their right. It's the same as saying to Muslims, it's the same as saying every single Muslim should have the right to have a Saudi passport, because the birth of Islam, the two cities of Mecca and Medina, is inside of Saudi, inside of the Arabian Peninsula. So every single Muslim in the world have a right to give a Saudi passport. Is that? It looks stupid here, is because Islam, Muslims is a different thing, but it's easier to recognize than Judaism, because Judaism is all originally just to the 12 tribes of Israel, but then it expanded, certain people to convert it. So that's what makes it complicated and harder. But saying all the Jews have a right in Palestine by religion is the same as saying all the Muslims have a right to have a Saudi passport, which is ridiculous.
Let's divide up the land so everyone's happy.
Psych, they both get angrier.
Because the Jews because the Jews that got very angry about it, actually. As Einstein says, and he's a Jew, like I hate what he said in a word or another. I hate seeing the Jews doing to the Arabs what the Nazis did to the Jews. It's kind of a cycle of hate and whatnot. But the thing is, this requires a whole video. It's alright. I was thinking of making a video like this, but a bit later on.
Look out, China. There's a new China in China. What's on the menu? Communism. No thanks, said the other China, escaping to an island. I wonder which one is the real China.
Republic of China is the real China. Communist Party invaded China just like in 1949, just like how Saudi Arabia conquered the area which is now known as Saudi Arabia. That's why it's called Saudi Arabia and the Saudi family, because they conquered the area. Did you catch it? So real China is the Republic of China. People's Republic of China. If you put people in front of something and you call it a republic, doesn't make it look less horrible. It's not republic, it's not people, it's communist shit. The China we know today, not Taiwan, that government has no representation of its people. Okay? Real China is the Republic of China that's living now in Taiwan.
There's the Korean War, Korea versus Korea. Nobody wins, then it's on pause forever. Let's meet the sponsors.
Yeah,
it's the two global superpowers. They're having a friendly debate over which economic system is good and which one is an evil.
Yeah, it's just a dick contest that went too far, literally.
Virus of Satan. And they both have atom bombs. Fight! Wait, no, that would be the end of the world.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it cool and spy on each other instead. And make sure we have enough atom bombs. I'll race you to space. Now let's make some more countries fight themselves. Europe is tired of pillaging other continents, and the continents they were pillaging are tired of being pillaged. So here's a new map with new countries.
But the thing is, this map is made by the colonialism, and it is still colonized in a way or another. Okay? It's still colonized. A new version of colonialism is happening. Just to make it short.
Now you can't tell who they're being pillaged by. The United States finally decided whether racism is good or bad. They decided it's bad, and the world agrees. South Africa might need another minute to think about it.
Yeah.
Let's check the world population. Whoa. Okay. Technology's better too, that might keep happening. The Soviet Union decides to relax a little and accidentally falls apart.
Yeah.
Europe makes a union,
sure.
so now they can all use the same money, except Britain because they don't feel like it. Let's check the mail. Surprise, it's on the computer. Whoops, someone just attacked America. I bet they'll remember that. Phone call. Surprise, it's in your pocket. Want to learn everything? Surprise, it's on the computer. Now your phone's a computer.
9/11 requires a whole video too, but the thing is, there's a lot of details. Results says that there's a possibility that the CIA did it, or allowed it to happen, or supported it to happen, or some mix of that, to justify the United States going to war and doing what it did. Yeah.
Which is in your
Requires a
pocket.
video.
Whoops, the economy just crashed. Don't worry, the big banks won't fail because they're not supposed to.
Yeah, it's too big to fall, but they have too much power. I'll tell you one thing. There is no democracy in the world as long as these big banks exist. The main reason why John F. Kennedy was killed because he wanted to close these big banks. He got assassinated by the CIA. CIA controls the United States.
Surprise! Flying robots. With bombs. Want to print a brain? Some people have no friends. Some people have no food. The globe is warming.
And the ocean is full of plastic.
Let's save the planet, said everybody, not knowing how. Let's invent a thing inventor, said the thing inventor after being invented by a thing inventor. That's pretty cool. By the way, where the hell are we?
Yeah. Yeah, this video is genius. Of course, it got 112 millions. Yeah, but it's very damn good, and I liked it. There was some stuff there and there, but it's fine. It had some misconceptions though, and I hopefully I corrected them. Tell me your opinions in the comments below, and tell me what you want me to what I call it, react to next. And subscribe to the channel, leave a like, leave a comments of the things, the questions, and stuff. and do all these YouTube stuff, like, comments, all that stuff. And thank you, and see you in next video. Peace out.